this. I thought I got somebody else's check. I'd like to call this April 3rd meeting of the Cookeville City Council to order, please. Can we have a roll call?
Councilman Anderson.
Present.
Councilman Shelton.
Here.
Mayor Salee.
Present.
Vice Mayor Davis.
Present.
Councilman Williams.
Present.
All present.
We could all rise for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have any additions or corrections to the agenda, Mr. Shibley?
No changes.
Seeing no changes, do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Any comments? All vote.
5 yes votes, motion carries.
Brings us to item 2, presentation of pedestrian awareness proclamation, sponsored Councilwoman Alma Anderson.
Thank you very much. I've noticed over the last couple of weeks as the weather has gone back and forth between winter and spring, on the springy days there are a lot of people out walking. I walk my dog practically every night no matter what the weather is, and I just noticed that there were so many people out, and I wanted to make the people of the city of Cookeville aware of the pedestrians. So we came up with this pedestrian awareness proclamation, which I will proceed to read. Whereas the City of Cookeville encourages walking as a healthy, wholesome activity that helps preserve our quality of life and celebrates the joys and benefits of walking, and whereas the Leisure Services Department and the UT Extension Office are kicking off the Power of 10 walking program that challenges participants to log the miles they walk, and whereas upon walking 100 miles in 10 weeks, a participant will earn entry into the 100-mile club. And whereas motorists are encouraged to drive extra carefully and be aware of pedestrians and pedestrian crosswalks during the onset of springtime, as many pedestrians venture out into the beautiful weather to enjoy the surroundings and the benefits of walking. Now, therefore, I, Alma Anderson, Councilwoman of the City of Cookeville, do hereby proclaim Saturday, April 5th, 2008 as Power of 10 Day in Cookeville and Putnam County, and urge all citizens to recognize and keep safe our pedestrians as they attain 100-mile club status, and strive to keep their commitment to be fit in the hope of achieving optimum health for both today and the future. This 3rd day of April 2008. I have a phone number for anybody who is interested in the Power of 10 program through the Leisure Services, and it's 520-5286, and that will give you more information if you're interested in participating in the Power of 10. And one last comment, I want everybody to remember that pedestrians also are people just not on motors. So it could be that you see skateboarders, that you see rollerbladers, and even folks that are on their bicycles. So be aware of those people as they walk. Thank you.
Thank you. That's, I think as gas prices continue to go up, we're going to see more and more people living in our downtown area and walking to and from work. And we as motorists in Cookeville need to be very careful and pay more attention to walkers and bikers. That'd be good. Thank you. That brings us to item 3 in our consent agenda. Set a date of May the 1st, 2008, 6 p.m. for a public hearing on Ordinance 080404, amendments to the official street map, sponsor Kathy McLean. Do we have any comments about that? Do we have a motion to approve consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any comments? Seeing none, all vote.
5 yes votes, motion carries.
Thank you. It brings us to the old business. Item 4, consider approval of minutes of council meeting held on March the 20th, 2008. Do we have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Approval.
We have our motion and our second. Any discussion by the council? Comments from the audience? Seeing none, all vote.
5 yes votes, motion carries.
New business, item 5, hold a public hearing and consider on first reading ordinance 080303, rezoning property at the northeast intersection of Highway 111 and Interstate 40, identified as parcel 4.00 on map 67 from RS20 single-family residential to CR regional commercial. Sponsor Mr. James Mills.
Mayor and council members, the general location of this property is depicted on the screen. Here's an aerial view of the site and the existing zoning. This proposed rezoning was initiated at the request of the property owner, Mr. Lynn Bullock. According to the records of the Putnam County Assessor, the property proposed for rezoning consists of approximately 47.5 acres. As you can see on the screen, it's contiguous with properties zoned as CR and RD single-family and duplex residential to the north, with RD and RS20 zoning to the east, with RS20 zoning to the south, and with CR RS15 single-family residential zoning to the west. The property is accessed from Highway 111. Mr. Bullock indicated in the rezoning petition that the purpose of the request is to allow for the retail commercial development of the property. Our future land use plan indicates that the area is best suited for regional commercial purposes, which is in compliance with proposed zoning. Proposed rezoning has been approved by the Planning Commission and is recommended by the Planning Department.
Do we have a motion and a second to approve?
So moved.
Second.
We have our motion and our second. Discussion by the council? Comments from the audience? I have one question about the RS15 to the west of this piece of property. We're going to end up having CR basically surrounding that RS15 and leaving it kind of as an island there. How large is that, and is that going to be okay that we do that?
Well, it's probably about 50 acres what's
Okay.
left in there that would still be the RS15. If you're fairly familiar with that, and I know you are, Mayor, that most of that has some terrain and topography issues that I don't know how suitable it is for commercial right now, and it is still shown as residential in our land use plans. That may change. To give you a quick update, the Planning Commission is in the process of updating our future land use plan and our future transportation plan, so we may look at that. But right now, it's still shown as a single family.
Okay.
One question, should the, what we're rezoning, should it also go ahead and continue down to the interchange at I-40?
South.
Further south?
Well, when this was viewed by the Planning Commission, that property owner was contacted and they didn't express an interest in it, and it's not right now shown on our land use plans as being commercial. And again, that's an area
It's
that we
not
will
shown?
No, but that is an area that we'll look at.
Okay.
Any further comments by the council? Comments from the audience? Seeing none, all vote.
5 yes votes, motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Mills.
Thank you.
Item 6, consider approval of change order with Nora Builders, reducing the gymnasium project contract. Sponsor, Mr. Rick Woods.
Mayor, members of council, this is requesting your approval of a change order in the contract with NORAD Builders for the construction of the Cane Creek Gymnasium. The original contract sum included a $20,000 contingency in there, and as we have completed construction, we've not used all of that contingency. There's a listing there in your documents of what we have used, and we still have $7,682.35 unused of that $20,000 contingency, and we're requesting to reduce the contract with Norwood Builders by that amount. I would recommend your approval.
Do we have a motion and a second?
Move approval.
Second.
Have our motion and our second. Any discussion by the council?
It's not often we get to do this.
But we like it.
We like it, don't we?
Any comments from the audience? Seeing none, all vote.
5 yes votes, motion carries.
Mr. Woods. Item 7, consider declaring surplus a wrecked 1998 Ford Crown Victoria from the police department. Sponsor, Captain David Dukes.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. In brief, we have a wreck patrol car that we're asking your approval to declare surplus. An officer was involved on February the 22nd in a motor vehicle crash. It was not his fault. The at-fault driver's insurance sent an adjuster over. The damage to the vehicle itself was $6,500 roughly. Another $2,000, a little over $2,000 to equipment in the vehicle. The grand total was $8,686.35 in damage to this vehicle. The vehicle itself is a 1998 Crown Vic. It's 10 years old with 120,000 miles on it. So it's bumping up against being retired anyhow. And we feel it's best to go ahead and accept this offer and use that money towards the purchase of a new car.
This is like the third engine in it too, isn't it, David?
Yes, sir.
Do we have a motion and a second?
Move for second.
Have our motion and our second. Discussion by the council. So were we able to salvage any of the equipment inside the
Yes.
car?
Anything that wasn't damaged, we get to keep.
Okay.
Yes.
Any further comments by the council? Comments from the audience? Seeing none, all vote.
5 yes votes, motion carries.
Thank you. At this time, a rather short agenda tonight, we do have our hearing of citizens and/or delegations, and we invite you to come to the lectern and identify yourself, and you can speak to up to 3 minutes about your ideas and concerns about the city of Cookeville.
Hi, I'm Deborah Sam, I'm sorry, I'm nervous, and until this morning I wasn't planning on coming, but I realized that this was the last official gathering before you start your budget hearings, because you're not having the Monday working meeting on the 14th. So I wanted to bring up that since the city is already undertaking actions like working with TVA to make our buildings more energy efficient and other steps we're taking, I and actually a number of citizens who have tried to contact you one-on-one to set up a meeting, wanted to talk about the city taking on a comprehensive and methodical program, like any sound business would do. No bank gives a business loan to any business without a business plan, or without a plan and without steps to get there, and an inventory is one way that businesses see where they were, see where they are, see where they're, how they can potentially plan to get where they want to go. An inventory can help our city pick the programs and policies that fit with our unique city. It's not a one-size-fits-all thing, because some things may not be appropriate here that are appropriate and work very well in other cities. And at this point in Tennessee, all the big cities, Knoxville, Nashville, Memphis, Chattanooga, Shelby County, have all officially declared their steps in reducing greenhouse gas emissions, reducing fuel use, and thus saving money for their municipalities. Knoxville has been very successful. The City of Knoxville recently received a $200,000 Department of Energy grant and a matching $100,000 TVA grant to use solar energy. for their government use. So there is money out there. The EPA has web seminars on how to find the money, and they're offering that free to governments, how to find it, and help. They have software and things to help. I know, Cookeville isn't an early adopter. No one's asking us to be. But we are leaders in the Upper Cumberland region. And at this point, that's the next level to start taking steps. I have no attachment to ICLEI, which is an association that offers a lot of information. Lots of cities across the country share information through them. They've worked with lots of experts. They have 20 years of experience in sustainability of all kinds. And they're highly recommended, and they have easy-to-use software and technical support. So whereas some cities can afford to have one person chairing things and being the official point person, other cities, smaller cities like us, can do it with volunteer help. And the reason I'm bringing this up before budget is that would cost a city of our size $600 to be a member. I have found volunteers that are willing to undertake the inventory, and if we calculate the number of hours that they suspect to do that based on minimum wage, the volunteers are ready to commit 3 times as much as the city would have to financially, of their time. So I really would like to just bring this forward to you now. I don't know what the next steps are to take. I'm not sure. But I wanted to bring this up before the budget hearings.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming.
Can I ask you something? What you mentioned inventory. An inventory of what? What were you referencing as inventory? I didn't understand what you're saying.
What they do is it's greenhouse gas emission inventory, but it's a way to track monies that are spent on fuel use and whatever, because what the volunteers do is they go, and since we own our utilities, it'll be quite easy. They go and they search benchmark dates about what we've spent, and so they can analyze certain programs people want to take on, like switching lighting or, other things, that sometimes really creative things, and they can give you a money total of how much you would save. In addition to greenhouse gas emissions,
Okay.
Which EPA is designated as a pollutant. So.
And they're basically just basing their greenhouse gas figure off the amount of energy that's used, correct? So like,
the fuel source and the amount of money we spent on utilities, and
Right.
My energy reviews, yes.
So like, for example, they might make a recommendation that we would replace our heating and cooling units on a building, and then give us some sort of estimate on the payoff of, based upon how much money we'll save with a more energy efficient unit, how many years it would pay off.
Right.
Or like new windows on a
and they can do
facility like
reports
this.
on that, and there are creative lending situations out there now that understand that there will be savings and that they're willing to make loans based on that as a regular payment to that. But we can't really investigate those things without the city going on board, because they'll talk to municipalities and counties and maybe people in construction, but but that is possible out there. That does exist. People are doing that currently.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Maybe at this point, maybe Mr. Shipley and some of the department heads might be able to shed a little light on what is being done already. I mean, let's see where we are now. And so there are things that are being done for energy conservation, certainly. So
Definitely.
Does someone want to comment on that?
Well, I know we, as a council, we've done the LED traffic signalization. Greg's working on that, and something that I'd really like to see is us get our traffic signals synced together to where they communicate, and you can continue down Jefferson or Willow Avenue without having to stop and go. I think that uses a lot of fuel to stop and go, and I know Oak Ridge is doing that, and there's, I think, some expertise at Tennessee Tech that can also help us with some of these things as well. spoken with several people over there. But the city is doing some things, and you know, I think we're very interested in being fiscally and environmentally responsible. So we certainly appreciate your comments, and we'll be working towards helping to develop a plan of action to make those things happen.
And I definitely don't take away from anything the city has already done and how hard you all work to make sure that, you know, with the budget, the way it is, you know, that we stay within what we can spend. And I appreciate, you know, how seriously you all take all that. And, you know, I get to see you working, you know, so I do get to see that, so I
Well,
appreciate it.
thanks
Deborah.
again.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any comments or ideas? We invite you to come to our council meetings. They are open, and we appreciate all the comments that we get. And does any of the council have any comments? Or Gene, any announcements?
Oh, one thing I wanted to mention, I got email from City Hall just the other day about the attendance at our gymnasium.
Oh, yeah, that's
It
good.
wasn't that not fantastic? Since February 7th through March 16th, 3,320 users just in that short amount of time. I was really excited about that we're having such participation there. I hope that's going well. Is that with that many people? That's keeping your staff busy, I'm sure. That's good.
I just wanted to say one thing. I want to publicly thank, first of all, this council and the city department heads that have been there over the past couple of months of my loss of my mother, and then 2 weeks ago my father. He obviously had a big part in this city, and he loved this city and the police department and the fire department and all things to do with this city. And I just wanted to take a minute to publicly thank all those involved and just the words of encouragement and the visits and the cards and the countless things that were done for him and our family. And I wanted to say that I appreciate it sincerely.
Thank you. Do we have any other comments? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Bud. I use them as you